In this session, we're going to cover how to do deliveries when you don't have an internet connection at some of your stores. There are a couple of links on the landing page that are useful to that end. One is the recap link, the other is the scan offline link. So let's click recap. That's going to bring up basically a PDF that's going to open up in a tab. You will see a dialog like this, which is very common. You'll become accustomed to this, but it's just a way to open that. So I'm going to click the view download link there, and that's opened up a new tab. Okay, so in that tab we will cover, and so I'm going to hit exit and go back. So these are things that you would do before you leave the warehouse, so certainly while you still have an internet connection, to get prepared for when you don't have a connection. The other link is the scan offline. So let's click that one. We're going to see that same type of dialog pop up, and I'm going to click view download to open up another tab. So now I have 3 tabs at the top. These 2 tabs are for working offline. One is for loading, the other is a recap. So here's back to our landing page. I'm going to press exit here. Now I'm all set to go. So if I get to a store, say this first store, I don't have an internet connection, but I already have this up here to capture scans when I'm offline, because that tab is already open. So you'll leave these 2 tabs open and not close them out. And then the other one is just basically a delivery manifest that you can view as a point of reference that has some good information on there. So let's do an offline scanning. So let's imagine that I'm at Big John's Quick Stop and I don't have an internet connection. So what I want to do is go to my load page. I want to make sure that my cursor is on this to start with, and I'm going to start scanning some totes. So there's one tote, and you'll notice how the screen down below, and I will indicate that, is starting to fill up the slots for these different totes that appear, like down here. And so I'll scan one more. And so now I've got so now I can see that all totes I expected to deliver have been accounted for at that stop. So still don't have a connection, but I'm going to just leave this. You don't want to refresh this page. Just leave these 2 offline pages up in case you need them. The recap, the load, the scan capture. So I'm going to go back. When I do get an internet connection again, I can come back in here. And now I want to populate some things. So I'm going to show you here. See the offline scans? If I refresh this screen, I didn't refresh it because I've stayed connected the entire time. But for instance, if I hit the next button to page forward, or if I hit the submit button, it's going to go out there and say, hey, guess what? You have 4 offline scans that you need to process. That's what that is telling me right there. So that's kind of a tip off. So what I want to do is now I want to load those offline scans. So this link right here only operates when you have an internet connection. So this is something that you do when you get to the next store, or maybe to a lunch break, or someplace where you have an internet connection. You can collect multiple stores offline. It will just dutifully hold everything until you tell it to store, or tell it to reload and update the server with what you delivered. So I'm going to click the offline scans link, and it's going to bring up a page, very plain page. It looks like this. And so what I want to do is click this button down here. It says load offline scans. And what that's going to do is take the scanned information that was loaded into your local device and just populate it on the web page. Boop. So there you go. There are 4 scans that we did. And now I want to hit the button after that, so you can verify what you just pulled up. And then I hit process loaded scans. And that takes care of it. And there's a little confirm. So I'm going to say OK. And then what I want to do is clear offline scans, and that just basically wipes the slate clean. And there's a little confirm. And so now if I go back, and now I want to continue after clearing. And now I've come back over here. You can see my page has been refreshed, and I have no more offline scans. And furthermore, if I go and drill down back into this, just to show you what you can see when I get to the containers at that particular stop. Now I have no containers that are unaccounted for. If I click the little drop down like we looked at in a previous session, it says show me things that I've scanned, and there they are. So I've accommodated those. They're checked off. Everybody is good to go. So that's kind of a quick glimpse at how you can work offline. Remember, load up your tabs while you still have an internet connection, because these two tabs can work even without an internet connection. They're there for your reference to capture things. And then so you will use scan offline to open the tab for capturing things, and you will use load offline scans when you do have a connection to go and retrieve that information and plug it back into the warehouse system to acknowledge that you delivered those totes. That's it for this session. I hope you got something out of it. If you have any questions, please let us know. Thank you.